Good afternoon or good evening, football fans. Big Al here on this Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Welcome to my Week 9 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread, plus the injury report entering Thursday Night Football and tonight's matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. And off we go with my Week 9 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. And we're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, as the 2-5 Baltimore Ravens get Lamar Jackson back for their matchup at the 2-6 Miami Dolphins. Tonight at 8:15 Eastern on Prime. Your announcers are Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hartung. Alright, the Ravens moved up to number 21 in my Week 9 power rankings. The Dolphins are at number 26. Baltimore was off last week, while Miami is coming off that impressive victory over the Falcons. Current point spread is Baltimore minus 7.5. Over-under is at 50.5. With Lamar back, I think the Ravens are going to get back on track, as I have them winning 31-14. I have the game going under 50.5, and I'm taking the Ravens at minus 7.5. Now to Sunday, we have 8 games in the 1 p.m. Eastern time window, and we'll start off with the 3-4 Atlanta Falcons visiting the 6-2 New England Patriots. Sunday at 1 on CBS. Your announcers are Andrew Catalon, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, and AJ Ross. Alright, following last week's embarrassing loss to the Dolphins, the Falcons fell to number 20 in my Week 9 power rankings, while the Patriots, winners of 5 straight, is up to number 6. Current point spread is New England minus 5.5. Over-under is 45. I'm going to take the Patriots here in this one, 31-20. I have the game going over 45. And I've got New England at minus 5.5. Next up, I have my lock of the week, as the 4-4 Carolina Panthers visit the 5-1-1 Green Bay Packers. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Adam Amin, Greg Olsen, and Pam Oliver. The Panthers were blown out at home by the Buffalo Bills last week. As a result, they fell to number 19 in my Week 9 power rankings. Meanwhile, the Packers regained the top spot after a 35-25 victory on Sunday night in Pittsburgh. Current point spread is Green Bay minus 13. Over-under is 44. Oh, and I forgot to mention the Packers are number 1. I have the Packers winning this one rather easily, 34-14, although Bryce Young is expected to return for the Panthers. I have the game going over 44, and I'm taking Green Bay minus 13. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Panthers do keep it a little bit close, like say 7-10 points. Alright, coming up next, the 4-3 Chicago Bears visit the 3-5 Cincinnati Bengals. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Spiro Ditas, Adam Archuleta, and Aditi Kinkhabwala. Alright, the Bears are at number 18 in my Week 9 power rankings after losing last week against the Ravens. Meanwhile, the Bengals, who blew a 2-touchdown lead and lost to the Jets last week, fell to number 25. Current point spread is Chicago minus 2.5. The over-under is 51.5. It looks like Jake Browning will be starting for Cincinnati in place of Joe Flacco, who is listed on the injury report for the Bengals. So with that, I got the Bears winning this one 27-20. I'm taking the under 51.5 in this one. And I have Chicago at minus 2.5. Up next, the 6-2 Denver Broncos face off with the 3-4 Houston Texans. in what should be a defensive type game, but I wouldn't be shocked if offense comes up in this game. That's Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Kevin Kugler, Daryl Johnston, and Allison Williams. All right. The Broncos had an impressive performance against the Cowboys last week. They're up to number 7 in my Week 9 power rankings. And the Texans are at number 16 after last week's victory over the 49ers. Current point spread is Houston -1. Over-under is 40. There may be a little bit of an offensive explosion in this game, but I got the Texans winning 24-20, and this is based on the Pat Surtain injury for the Broncos. I have the game going slightly over 40, and I'm taking the Texans -1. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos do pull this one out, but I'm going with the Texans because of the injury concern for Pat Surtain. Next up, the 7-1 Indianapolis Colts, the best team in the NFL, visit Pittsburgh to face Aaron Rodgers and the 4-3 Steelers. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Ian Eagle, J.J. Watt, and Evan Washburn. All right. The Colts won yet again as they stay at number 3 in my Week 9 power rankings. And the Steelers, of course, lost to the Packers on Sunday night. They're down to number 15. In fact, they stayed at number 15 because I did not move them. Current point spread is Indianapolis -3. Over-under is 50.5. I think the Colts will put 30 plus on the board yet again. They've done it in 6 of their 8 games this year. And I think they'll do it against a Steelers defense that's more cold than hot. I have Indianapolis winning 34-24. The game going over 50.5. So expect fireworks in this game. And I'm taking the Colts -3. Next up, the 5-3 Los Angeles Chargers face off with the 1-7 Tennessee Titans, who of course lost to the Colts last week in blowout fashion. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Tom McCarthy, Ross Tucker, and Amanda Balionis. All right, the Chargers are at number 12 in my Week 9 power rankings. The Titans have fallen back to number 32 again after that blowout loss to the Colts. Current point spread is LA -9.5. Over-under is 43.5. The Chargers should be able to take care of business against a very bad Titans squad. That said, I have LA winning 30-14. The game goes slightly over 43.5. And I'm taking the Chargers -9.5. Next up is an NFC North Division battle at Ford Field as the 3-4 Minnesota Vikings get JJ McCarthy back at quarterback to face Jared Goff and the 5-2 Detroit Lions. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. All right, the Vikings are at number 23 in my Week 9 power rankings. The Lions stay at number 2. Current point spread is Detroit -9. Over-under is 47.5. This team is getting healthier, especially in the secondary, which looked like a concern against the Buccaneers, but really wasn't, as they did play well last week. I have the Lions winning 28-16. The game goes under 47.5, but I won't be surprised if there are more points scored. And I'm taking Detroit -9. And the last of the early games has the 5-3 San Francisco 49ers and all their injury concerns traveling east to face the New York Giants, coming in with a record of 2-6. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins. All right, the Niners dropped to 10 in my Week 9 power rankings after last week's loss in Houston. The Giants are back down at number 28 after losing to the Eagles in Philadelphia. Current point spread is San Francisco minus 2.5. The over-under is 49. I think that over-under is a little bit high. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. That said, I have the 49ers winning 21-16. The game goes under 49. And I have San Francisco minus 2.5. All right, you have 3 late games in the 4 p.m. window. And we'll start with the 4-3 Jacksonville Jaguars at the 2-5 Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on Fox. Your announcers are Chris Myers, Mark Schlereth, and Christina Pink. Alright, the Jaguars were off last week. They are up to number 14 in my Week 9 power rankings. The Raiders are down to 31 after last week's defeat. And I have forgotten who they played, but I'm not even going to worry about that. Current point spread is Jacksonville minus 3. Over-under is 44.5. I'm taking Jacksonville to win this game 27-17 because I think the Raiders are god-awful this year on both sides of the ball. The game will go just under 44.5, and I'm taking the Jags minus 3. Up next, the 1-7 New Orleans Saints face off with the 5-2 Los Angeles Rams at SoFi, Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on Fox. Your announcers are Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan O'Leary. All right, the Saints are at 29 in my Week 10 power, or rather Week 9 power rankings. Sorry about that, I'm jumping ahead of myself. The Rams, who were off last week, go up to number 13. Or actually, they moved down a spot to number 13. Current point spread is Los Angeles minus 13.5, and the over-under is 44. I think this spread is way too big. And the Saints have proven, outside of a couple games this year, that they can hang with just about anyone. I got the Rams winning straight up 28-17, and I'm taking the over 44 in this game. But I am taking New Orleans with the 13.5. Next up is our game of the week, and it will be shown nationwide as Patrick Mahomes and the 5-3 Kansas City Chiefs and Josh Allen and the 5-2 Buffalo Bills clash in another chapter of their current rivalry. And that will be seen Sunday at 4:25 Eastern nationwide on CBS. Your announcers are Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson. Alright, the Chiefs have rebounded to number 11 in my Week 9 power rankings. The Bills are at number 4. Of course, Kansas City is coming off of Monday's victory over the Commanders. Current point spread is Kansas City minus 2. Over-under is 52.5. Now, better convention would tell me to take the Chiefs because they look like the more healthier team. They look like the better team. But I'm basing this off of history. And given the regular season, Josh Allen owns Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. He is 4-1 all time against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. But those numbers flip in the playoffs. Mahomes is 4-0 lifetime in the postseason against Josh Allen. So I'm going with history and taking the Bills, 37-31. There's going to be a lot of points scored. Thus, the game will go over 52.5. And I'm taking Buffalo at +2 as the home underdog. Next up is Sunday Night Football. This week it's the 5-2 Seattle Seahawks at the 3-5 Washington Commanders. Sunday night at 8:20 on NBC. Your announcers are Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark. Alright, the Seahawks are at number 9 in my Week 9 power rankings, while the Commanders fell to 22 after losing in Kansas City to the aforementioned Chiefs last Monday night. Current point spread is Seattle minus 3, over-under is 48. I'm taking the Hawks here in this one, 28-21. The game will go just over 48. So I'm expecting points in this game as well. And I'm taking Seattle as the visiting favorite at -3. And then wrapping things up for Week 9 is Monday Night Football. as Kyler Murray looks to return for the 2-5 Arizona Cardinals as he faces off with Dak Prescott and the 3-4-1 Dallas Cowboys. Monday night at 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. Your announcers are Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, and Laura Rutledge. Alright, the Cardinals, who did not play last week, fell to number 27 in my Week 9 power rankings. Meanwhile, the Cowboys got dominated in Denver last week. They fell to number 17. Current point spread is Dallas minus 2.5, and the over-under is 54. But as I said during the Chiefs-Bills game, this is all based on recent history, as the Cardinals have beaten the Cowboys the last few times they have met. In fact, the last time they played on Monday Night Football was, I think, 2021, and that was in Dallas as well, and the Cardinals won there. I think history repeats itself here. I have Arizona winning 27-23. I have the game going under 54, just a bit, and I'm taking Arizona minus 2.5. So we're pretty much expecting a Cardinal upset in Big D on Monday night. Alright, 4 teams off this week, including the 2-6 Cleveland Browns, ranked at number 24. The 1-7 New York Jets, fresh off of that comeback victory. A stunner over the Bengals. They're at number 30 in my Week 9 power rankings. The defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles at 6-2 and ranked number 8. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also at 6-2 and ranked number 5. So those are my picks. Now let's get into this injury report for tonight's game between the Ravens and Dolphins, and we'll start with the Ravens. Officially, there are no injuries to speak of for Baltimore, but there are 5 names on the injury report, including quarterback Lamar Jackson, linebacker Teddy Buchanan, offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, and cornerbacks TJ Tampa and Nate Wiggins, all of which were full participants in practice this week. And Lamar Jackson returning will be a huge spark for John Harbaugh and the Ravens. On the Dolphins side, there are a lot of injuries to talk about. Tight end Julian Hill is out tonight with an ankle. Safety Ashton Davis is doubtful with a quadricep. Meanwhile, linebacker Bradley Chubb with a shoulder and a foot. Wide receiver D. Eskridge with a shoulder. Cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. with a hamstring. And safety Afidu Melifonwu with a thumb are all listed as questionable. Other names listed include safety Elijah Campbell, cornerback Storm Duck, coolest name on the planet, safety Micah Fitzpatrick, fullback Alex Ingold, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, safety Dante Trader Jr., and wide receiver Malik Washington. So there it is, folks. My Week 9 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread, and tonight's injury report ahead of Ravens-Dolphins. Now, if you're wondering how I did last week with my picks, I went 7-6 straight up and 6-7 against the spread. So a ho-hum week in those categories. But I killed it on over-unders as I went 11-2. Hoping for bigger numbers here in Week 9. So good luck to everyone with your picks and your bets and everything. That is it for my Week 9 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread, plus the injury report for tonight's Ravens-Dolphins game. We will be back on Monday or Tuesday with the college football rankings for Week 11, and we'll also do an extra video on Wednesday I think the college football playoff rankings are coming out on Tuesday night. I think the college football playoff rankings are coming out on Tuesday night. I will have those for you on Wednesday. Also on Tuesday, we'll look at the Week 9 recap on the week that was, as we'll look at the team and player stats from every game this week, plus my Week 10 power rankings. Also on Tuesday, I have the Week 11 college football television schedule and the announcers for every game. That'll drop then. And we'll be back in here next Thursday with my Week 10 NFL picks. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Peace out.